Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be discussing distant healing and the possible reasons as to why somebody may seek a distant healing session. Distant healing, by the way, simply means that the treatment is carried out with the client in one location and the healer in another. So I could be performing the healing here in my room and you could be sat in the comfort of your own home, whether that is somewhere local or if you're at the opposite side of the world. Distant healing sessions normally take place when a client is physically unable to travel to the healer. Perhaps if they're sick in hospital or housebound, or if an individual lives in a different city or country. The beauty of distant healing is that it's just as potent as when you're here with me in the same room. So there is no reduction in efficacy. The furthest that I've treated clients so far are in countries such as America and Russia. But it really doesn't matter where you are. Even if you're up on the moon, the healing energy will still get to you because energy transcends time and space. A perfect example of when somebody might request distant healing is right now. As I'm recording this video, we're currently in the middle of a pandemic and many countries are still in and out of lockdown and can't access their usual healthcare facilities. In the United Kingdom alone, we have over 26 million missed doctor's appointments, and there are millions of people who have had urgent surgery cancelled or who are waiting for urgent life-saving treatment that they can't access. With that in mind, if you're currently sat at home now in debilitating pain, or if you're urgently awaiting some kind of treatment, then rather than allow your situation to deteriorate, surely now would be the opportune moment to try something new. And you never know, you may just be pleasantly surprised. I know most people already consider the concept of healing wacky enough as it is, yet alone distant healing. But if you've checked out my video, Healing Explained, you would have heard me speak about the science behind how healing energy is transmitted. Hence, the concept does become a bit more plausible once you begin to understand the mechanics of how energy operates. Also in the Healing Explained video, you would have heard me mention the Silva method, who I keenly borrowed some scientific data from, just to try and explain things a bit more simply. And in that video, you hear me speaking about BCI, which stands for Brain-Computer Interface. Within the field of BCI, they're currently developing groundbreaking technology such as wheelchairs that can be controlled by the mind and interfaces that allow you to control your television just by using your thoughts, i.e. you can change the channel on your TV, or you can turn the volume up and down just by using your mind. So if we are now living in a world where technology is being developed on a supernatural level, you begin to realize that potentially you can heal someone by using exactly the same method. And basically, healing does work on exactly the same principle. The healer mentally projects an intention onto the client as to what needs to be corrected. So if you have a client that's suffering from cancer, as an example, then I would mentally propagate the intention for all cancer cells to be shrunk and eradicated. And generally speaking, that's what tends to happen. To try and substantiate this, there's a true story that I picked up from the Silva method about a former CIA agent by the name of CLEVE BACKSTER. Now, CLEVE BACKSTER was a leading polygraph expert. A polygraph machine is a lie detector, by the way. And one day when CLEVE was bored, he decided to connect one of his houseplants up to the lie detector machine just to see what would happen, as you do. And at first, the plant failed to give off any signals, and CLEVE was trying various things to provoke a reaction and failed. And then suddenly he thought, I know, what if I set one of the leaves on fire? And just as he projected that thought, the polygraph machine went crazy, which meant that the plant was able to read his mind and was able to demonstrate a fear of the impending threat. This then led to CLEVE BACKSTER dedicating the rest of his life conducting further experiments on plants. If you think about it logically, if a plant can essentially read our mind and respond to our thoughts and intentions, then surely human beings can do the same also. And basically, this is the fundamental interplay of how healing occurs. Only there's no limitation on how far your mental projection can travel. And the general rule here is that all life is interconnected and in communication with each other. I'll put the link to the CLEVE BACKSTER story down in the drop down. I'm sure that will probably traumatize a few vegans out there, because contrary to what we've been told, it looks as though plants are very much sentient beings that can feel and express empathy. Moving on to the session itself, I will now describe how I conduct my distant healings, which of course will differ to other healers as we all have our own styles and methods of working. Whether you come to see me in person or whether you have a distant healing, it will always be a 1-hour session. You have a consultation at the beginning, which can be done via video call, and we discuss what your presenting issues are and what you would like to focus on during the session. So the consultation itself normally lasts around 15 minutes. I also use a photograph of the client when I'm doing my distant healings, only because this helps me to focus with a bit more precision. Most people like to synchronize with me when I'm doing the distant healing, i.e. we agree a set time to do the session. And when the time comes around, you would then go and make yourself comfortable at your end. You can go and lie down, you can put some music on, and basically that way you get to experience the healing as it's taking place. When doing this, you may feel the energy moving around your body as I'm working, or you may feel other sensations such as hot or cold. You may see images and colors, or you may even get intuitive messages. That does sometimes happen. Either way though, I always say to people, please do not worry if you don't get any sensations during the actual session itself. I assure you that the healing is definitely working. All that matters is that you see results in the days and the weeks thereafter. So don't get too caught up in what may or may not occur when the actual healing is taking place. I actually perform the healing offline. So yes, I call you for the consultation, but then when we finish talking, I disconnect the call for the actual healing itself, but only because the session isn't interactive in that way, i.e. I don't need to ask you questions as I'm working. Some healers do work interactively, but that's not my style. I tend to work in silence as I'm healing. But only because I'm busy mentally projecting what needs to be corrected or what needs to be done. Also, I spend about 20 to 30 minutes doing the actual healing, and needless to say, 30 minutes of silence on a call might be a bit boring, so that's why I jump offline for that part of the session. Once the healing is over, I then call you back to discuss briefly what you may have experienced, and also to offer some aftercare advice. And all in all, from start to finish, it would be a 1-hour session. Obviously, distant healing doesn't need to be synchronized, but of course, the synchronization aspect gives people peace of mind that something is happening, and of course, they get to participate in the session. Needless to say, if somebody is in hospital or incapacitated, then of course there is no synchronization. I would just perform the healing ASAP at my earliest convenience. So that's basically distant healing in a nutshell. If you are currently stuck and can't access your usual treatments due to COVID, then please give healing some consideration rather than allow your condition to deteriorate any further. To reiterate, healing can be used for all illnesses, so anything that you are currently seeing your doctor about, you can also see a healer in tandem also. I hope this video has provided some clarification on what distant healing entails. If the video has resonated with you, then please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Additionally, if you would like to support the channel, then you can find the details in the drop down below. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.